Greetings, Bitcoiners in the land of YouTube. I've got some bad news to report, and this is more than FUD, unfortunately. So a while back, if you've been watching my videos, if you're new, I've been talking about this whole market run of 2021 for Bitcoin, 2020-21, the bull run, halving run. I was talking about playing out a full cycle and coming way back down to 20,000 or under. And one of the elements of me saying that it might come down rapidly in the form of death candles, it never really developed. Elon Musk and a couple others kind of pumped it up from here. It seemed kind of like a panic move by Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey and Cathie Wood, and now I might be seeing why they did it. It just seemed like they're protecting themselves right here, because this was a market clearly coming down. And this green thing here, like I was saying, just looks like a dislocated finger pointing the wrong way, like an athlete coming off the field. But I'm going to get to it real quick here. So don't click away. I know I have a tendency to start going off on tangents, try to explain stuff. The problem is there's people brand new to my channel watching, and there's other people that have already heard it all. So it's hard to try to talk to a bunch of different people on bunch of different levels. But anyways, long story short, there was an element I was calling a FUD storm. I was saying a FUD storm was going to come in, and that's kind of been the missing piece, right? This FUD storm up here, this big summertime thunderhead FUD storm. It never really developed, right? That was going to rain down its shower on this, right? That was the missing element to my theories about this coming down here and playing out a full cycle, right, down here somewhere. And this probably is going to be a good place to buy, but I need to be careful. And I was going to make a video recently about BlockFi. An interest account like this, where I was saying in stormy times in crypto, you can pull in here where it's safe and get like 7.5%, 8% interest on like a DAI. Oh, hey, look at that. DAI's actually come down to 7.5%. This is probably in reaction to what's going on. I'll get to it here pretty quick. Hold on one second. Gemini, 7.5%. So I just bought some Gemini yesterday, actually. And that's a great, wonderful interest rate that traditional finance just cannot match. So today there's this message on BlockFi. And yesterday I got a message from Kraken here and a message from BlockFi in the last 24 hours. The U.S. Senate is beginning its final deliberation. It's titled, "The Senate is about to vote on a bill that could kill crypto." Now, I don't want to be a FUD monger, but this is a real situation. It kind of reminds me of what happened to online poker a long time ago. The problem is there's actually legitimacy to this, right? There's definitely fraud and problems, right? So some regulation would be really good, in my opinion, but it just depends on who's really behind this, right? So I'll just read this email. The U.S. Senate is beginning its final deliberations on a must-pass bipartisan infrastructure bill. So it must pass, right? It's something we have to have. So sometimes people hide in the shadows and they'll stick other bills onto a must-pass bill, so it'll go through and get passed. However you feel about the bill, that's not the point, right? A few senators have included language having nothing to do with infrastructure. This language could crush the crypto industry. If passed and signed into law, this bill would dramatically expand government surveillance over the entire crypto ecosystem. So that's good. It's bad. It depends on what's really behind this, right? Fortunately, there's a few senators, you can read them here, that have filed amendments, introduced amendments that would fix the language and clarify the expansion of the definition of a broker. So it sounds, without reading it and just implying what from this right here, it sounds like they're going to try to call open source software developers or validators like miners and stakers. It sounds like they're trying to lump them in with, say, stock brokers, like brokerage sites. Anyways, they're expanding the definition of the word broker. So the wordsmiths are at play, right? So this is a little message saying, help us preserve financial privacy and independence in crypto. Make your voice heard. Call this number. You can see it there and connect with your senator. It says, tell them, hi, I'm calling to ask you, you can take a screenshot of this if you want. Infrastructure Bill HR 3684. You don't want to have financial surveillance dramatically expanded. It would harm innovation, undermine human rights. Policies that impact basic freedom and future of the internet should be debated carefully and should never be attached to must-pass bills, right? So sneaky Pete's at work, right? Sneaky Pete's at work. Interesting enough, Google loosens their crypto advertising ban directly on top of this news, like literally the same day, right? Google's allowing cryptocurrency to be advertised. So it's just mind-boggling. I talked about that in my last video. Let's go down the list here. Here's the one from BlockFi. Now, I'll tie this up here in a minute. Here's the message from BlockFi. Just came. BlockFi interest accounts, BIAs, are not insured by Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, or the Securities Investor Protection Corporation, SIPC. BIAs are not registered with any federal or state security regulatory authority. July 19th, 2021, New Jersey Bureau of Securities issued summary cease and desist order finding that BIAs are unregistered securities under New Jersey law and seeking to stop BlockFi from opening new BIA accounts worldwide. Nothing in the order precludes BlockFi from paying interest on existing BIAs or refunding principal to BIA clients. So that's big. That's big, because a lot of cryptocurrency hinges on stable coins, like the ones I was just about ready to make a video about, saying you should take a look at sticking your money in here. So I'm gonna not make that video now. DAI coin, Gemini coin, Tether, USD coin, the stable coins that are pegged to the US dollar. So BlockFi is going to fight this, of course, and they got some clout and some money, and they can probably do some stuff. But let's see, scan through this real quick. So they're continuing to engage in discussions regarding the matter. Problem is it's not just New Jersey. Security regulators in Texas, Alabama, Vermont, Kentucky also issued similar orders regarding this issue. And this has the links down here. This is BlockFi.com. You could probably just Google this subject and find everything. Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, here it comes, right? This is the real FUD storm. This is more than FUD. And even if it turns out to not play out as being super bad, it's still FUD. So this probably will put an end. Potentially, this is the end of this halving cycle bull run. This is a damper for sure. Gary Gensler, he taught cryptocurrency classes at MIT for a couple years. I watched some of his videos, so he really understands the industry. But he's the Securities Exchange Commissioner now. He says this asset class, talking about cryptocurrency, is rife with fraud, scams, and abuses in certain applications, he said. There's a great deal of hype and spin about how crypto works. In many cases, investors aren't able to get rigorous, balanced, and complete information, said the SEC chief. And that's actually true. So I do like that because there is serious problems out there. But it just depends, on what this is really about, right? Who's really behind this? So at least he is a guy that understands what blockchain technology is. He goes on to say these platforms facilitate those seeking to sidestep a host of public policy goals, Gensler said. Sidestepping our traditional banking system and sidestepping anti-money laundering and tax compliance sanctions, he added, noting that this may threaten U.S. national security. So that's a little overboard because the traditional banking system is the money laundering system on a planetary scale, right? All these bankers constantly are getting caught laundering criminal money, mind you, hardcore criminal activity. They get caught laundering their money all the time, and they just pay somebody somewhere. I don't know where it goes. I don't even want to look into it. They pay somebody somewhere a bunch of money, right? And that's what they pay for laundering all the criminal activity around the world, right? When they get caught, they pay somebody else some money, and then they just go back to doing the same thing tomorrow. So, looking at this from that point of view, it's like, come on, man, really? So it's what's really going on here. No one knows for sure, but Gensler says greater regulation, decentralized finance or DeFi, the alternate financial universe, compromising countless applications on autonomous, but mostly on Ethereum. So look, this is also an attack on Ethereum. This is an attack on the whole crypto industry. So it has a lot to do. Like they're talking about staking ETH here, and this is the part where they get into the stable coins. Bitcoin, Ethereum, where was that at? Anyways, I don't want to make this video too long. I think you get the idea. The point is nothing can really stop cryptocurrency, with the exception of it being made illegal, right? That can stop it. No, there is no argument against that, right? If something's made illegal, that can stop Bitcoin. So it could get pushed down into the black market and that kind of stuff. Bitcoin can never really be stopped, but in the sense where you're a criminal if you use it and you can go to jail, that that could make Bitcoin go to under $5,000 rapidly, right? So there's the big boys, they don't want to go to jail, so just go back to the traditional financial system where you give somebody money, right? Instead of losing your freedom, just give the criminals money. So basically that's kind of it, right? Is this actually Gensler about to do a really wonderful thing for crypto, or is it the criminals are threatened, right? And they'll make you a criminal, right? So along them lines, I don't want to say too harsh because there are problems. Cryptocurrency is money; it's valuable. So without a doubt, there is fraud and there's scams out there, and it does need to be regulated without a doubt. Don't get me wrong, but it's at what level, right? Who is it regulation that actually cares about you, right? Or is it regulation that is a dictator saying you do this, we tell you what to do with your money, right? So there's kind of a line in there. So we'll just see how this goes. But I don't know if the crypto land has got wind of how powerful this could really be. If this bill were to go through, it would be really, really bad. It would probably take a couple years minimum to wiggle out of this for crypto legally. So watch out, man. My initial theory I was talking about with this FUD storm, I'm not sure without looking. I think it was middle of June or so, end of June, somewhere in there. I was talking about this FUD storm. It never really came. This was the FUD storm I was talking about, folks. All right, there's people out there that want this to stop, right? And it's namely the people that are in power of the financial system currently. They don't want to lose that power, right? They don't want people to have financial freedom. This is the way I see it, right? The main theme of Bitcoin and the good stuff in crypto is all about independence and freedom, and it just doesn't get a whole lot better than that. And it solves a lot of the problems wrong today. So there's going to be a fight, right? The people that are in power, they don't want to be told to stop being basically criminals on a planetary scale. So there is going to be a fight somewhere, right? Hopefully people like the Winklevoss twins and those sorts of people, hopefully they've got enough money and clout at this point to where they can stand up to that kind of stuff legally. And that's just what it's going to come down to, right? So anyway, it's just bad news, man. It's not good. So I'm not going to be making any investment strategy videos, right? I'm always going to try to make videos that they're dealing with reality, right? Watch out for the YouTubers out there. They're going to be pumping out videos to you saying Bitcoin could go to $50,000 by the end of the month, right? So yeah, I don't think so, man. There's 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 a FUD storm. It's not FUD. There's a real threat storm coming. So just be careful. Even if this plays out in favor of cryptocurrency, it's still short term could definitely hold the price down. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is the end of this halving cycle. I wouldn't be surprised if 65,000 is the top for quite a long time now, until maybe the next halving cycle. Maybe by the next halving cycle, it can play out in court, right? It can play out in court. That'd be about 3.5 years from now, 3.5 to 4 years from now for the next bull run to take place. So I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but this is bad news, man. So I hope you enjoyed this tidbit information. Look into it for yourself. Of course, I didn't get to all the points here, and there's lots of other things to talk about. Research it yourself and check into it yourself. And anyways, as always, thanks for watching.